and here we just want only body, card body. In this card body, let us make it this div, which we need to open a card. Okay, then here now when we click on it, it's opening, and we have written a box effect, and this is two gap. Why? Form elements label. Then okay, so let us do one thing. First, let us create a carousel concept here, and the another point is dialog box, or as we can say model dialog box. So in the center, we just create again a div and class row. In this row, as we know that every column that can have again 12 subcolumns. So here I am writing something like this, where div class row then place this total card effect. Inside this. So like this, okay, let it be for timing two cards. Its contents. And if we want something cat, let us do one thing. Instead of showing a boxes effect like this for each and every article, let us make it remove. Okay, place the h4 in the card body itself and remove card heading and even remove that footer, make it here, make it something simple and remove this card title. Directly write card hyphen body, and that is we don't want n number of boxes effect. That's the reason we are making simple way directly in the card body. This is what, but image is too much bigger na, so make it something like this. Okay, then let us add in the paragraph. And now see that output. We want like this image and the content. We can write text align justify. Let us write. So like this, a number of rows and its articles with headings and descriptions. Nice space. Okay, now we work with the carousel in the top row. Let us write due, right? ID equals to carousel class equals to carousel hyphen, sorry, carousel space slide and bg hyphen inverse width 100. That is, it should fit full width of this column. Then margin left auto, margin right auto. As we want these images that should that should move side by side, so we say data hyphen ride, name it as we are working with carousel, so write carousel. In this, let us first display the indicators, write ol or ul and apply the class carousel hyphen indicators. Inside this, okay, let us just choose if there are any images which are okay. Only 3 images are copied. Well, it be, but it's very less site, na? No problem. We can make it as we have given here. W hyphen 100. Obviously, the image will be full width. Sorry, the image will be occupied according to the column. So no problem. Let us first write these indicators. data hyphen each and every list item that should target data hyphen target my carousel data hyphen slide hyphen the first image that can consider as a zero and something we should start. So for the first image what we want to see or for the first indicator we are seeing will be having defaultly active. For the rest of them we don't have, I mean we don't write. So remove this class active and make it 1 and 2. So this is about the indicators. After that, div class carousel hyphen inner. In this, write the items. Div class carousel hyphen item, and that should be active defaultly. So write an image class. It should fix in the total block. That's why we are writing d hyphen block with full, where src equals to something image alt title. Along with the image, if you want a captions also, then class carousel hyphen caption. Here you can write heading and description. So let me write something heading. So caption and total item. So let us write something. Make it don't write active because only one item that should be defaultly active. And then make it something for. So Okay, let it be and write something heading. Make it okay. So now let us see the output. Right now, the image is automatically adjusted and with heading and description. That is why we have written BG inverse to show the text in white color, irrespective the image what we have behind that. And this is how you can make it. These are the indicators, and automatically we have. And this functionality is running through the links what we have done here. I mean, we just copied. We just added the classes. Okay, so you can create like this, and all these IDs that should connect to the parent ID, and each and every item having inner item with automatic adjustment, how much with 100 percentage of this column, and writing its captions, everything. So the final, let us do one thing. Let us create mm, model dialog box. Okay, so how we can create the model dialog box? Let me do one thing. Here you can create anywhere. For time being, I just wants to create something at right hand side, a button with the opening box. So after this model starts, then first let us write a button. Once it is completed, then we can finally see the output irrespective of the response, irrespective of the resolution, and write a class btn space btn hyphen secondary, as we are going to click on it. So that is why we are writing data hyphen toggle, write something name, and it should, when user clicks on it, it should open the dialog box. So we are going to write a div, and that div that should connect with data hyphen target, write something show dialog. Okay, then so when, let me write here something. Okay, so first let us see show message. When user clicks on the button, it has to open. So now write div class where id equals to, that is we are going to open a model and with fade, then area hyphen labeled by model label or model dialog, and defaultly it should not show. So that's why we are writing area hyphen hidden truth. Then in this fading effect and div class model hyphen dialog, and that should support to small window also, even large window also. I mean window means resolution, I think, resolution. And in this open a content, write a class model hyphen content. In this content we can have header, body and footer. So class model hyphen header. So write something heading with a class model hyphen title. Write some heading. Okay. Then model hyphen header. After this, write a class model hyphen body. So if you want footer also, then model hyphen footer. Write something button effect, and then class btn space btn hyphen whatever is the class that we want, and when we click on it, it has to close. So we can write here data hyphen dismiss and write it close. So overall we are done. Then when you click on this, it's opening dialog box and closing. Okay, now we are done with the required things, and now the banner, the strip, that icons, the services. Okay, this is the right hand side part. The images. Why all these things we have? Top and bottom only now. Container. Then the left hand side. When we click on it, the box is opening. A dialog box in the small and responsive with the drop downs. Okay, so overall, irrespective of the content, the items, deciding headings, subheadings, boxes, effects, alignment of media objects. Maybe you even can also place a video and everything, and maintaining something, what you can say, column wise and carousels, everything that what we have discussed, displaying even a list of items and everything we can place it. Overall, making an I set of setting of an items what we have discussed in one proper way, the same as discussed yesterday, even I have shown to you. We have an official website. Click on examples and then download all the things what you have already given. So first given preference to grid, then starter template, then Jumbotron, then work with the navigation bars, and then go with sign in sticky footer and all these steps. And just see a code once you got a clarity how you are writing that boxes, effects, and buttons and everything, then you can search for the bootstrap templates or themes, whatever. Any website. If you observe here this one, mm, okay, let me take any, how they have given the background, the navigation is fixed in the top, and they have given sidebar, and in the that is column 4 and column 8 again they have divided into three columns. We can see simply by just seeing that width itself. Let us see. This is sticky footer, and here main y as right now column 4. The rest is column 8. We can say by seeing itself how much width it is. So like this, you can just, and in here, something additional classes along with the bootstrap classes they have written and displaying. So how we can, these animation effects that we can also create, but not all the things with the CSS or bootstrap. We have tried with the jQuery also, that I will let you know. Then, so so far whatever we have discussed is HTML, CSS, and bootstrap, which is a part of an appearance. We are done. If you have any questions or things, please let me know about. I mean, with these three things, is it clear to all of you? Shall we move to the JavaScript programming part? Is it okay to all of you? Do you have any queries or let me know, please, because before entering into the programming part. So, starting, okay, I mean, working, starting with the JavaScript, okay. How many of you have an idea, or how many of you don't have an idea about programming? Could anyone, I mean, not anyone, could you please let me know? Those who don't have an idea or those who have an idea, just to get a clarity.
Hello.
Yes, tell me, please.
I don't have any idea about Java program.
Okay. But not Java, JavaScript it is. Okay. And hope you have all. I will be uploading these latest files so far, whatever we have discussed in the drive to the concerned team members, and they will forward to you. Please just go through the coding and practice the things what we have discussed. Okay, na? And and try to design something sample website by seeing as just now as discussed with you know showing that sample examples. So you can just download it and just see the coding what the people have done. That's it. No need of too much of things. Just try to make it as it is what they have done. Then you can understand how to write a coding. Then so yes. So what is a JavaScript and what is the usage of the JavaScript? We can simply say in one statement with the concept of HTML, we displaying the content with the different formats. With the concept of CSS, we made it something styling, and with the concept of Bootstrap, we made it something responsive. Of course, along with the concept of HTML and CSS, with the responsive we have done. But there is no concept of action part or user interaction. What is called concept of user interaction? As just now we have seen a number of icons or a number of images or something. Let us assume a gallery showcase. Or let us assume, for example, if you are opening, when we click on this button, just I'm saying sample example, when we click on this button, it is opening a window, small pop-up window, and then showing the list of items. You can say even that Angular, sorry, even that model dialog box is done the same thing now just now. Yes, we have used the classes and IDs. That IDs they have functionality already written, and of course the IDs my carousel. What we have written it is user defined only, but they have written the classes with the functionality, so that's why it's opening. Without functionality also, without coding of that also, you can try to make it opening a model window, but we create the concept of functional part. It is called user interaction, and in terminology, we can say event handler. What is that event handler? Either using keyboard or else either using mouse. User is interacting, maybe typing, or maybe dragging, or maybe clicking. Any action which is considered as an input to the functional, and it will do some process and give some output. This total concept we can say event handler. That is first point. Let me open. I will write here. What is a JavaScript? A JavaScript is a client-side scripting or programming language which use it to develop or create event handlings. Event handlings. What kind of an event handling it can be? A user that can be either through mouse or else through keyboard can do an action of clicking or dragging or hovering or focusing like this n number of actions based on the user which user is doing. It will take it as a input with a data and give the result into the output of HTML elements. We can say in another way which is called DOM. DOM. The meaning of DOM is the observation is document object model. A model is nothing but a data, whereas document is referring to all the HTML elements with a functional part. You are displaying a data into the HTML dynamically dynamically without a page refreshing. So you might have gone through a shopping cart website or gallery website and somewhere else. When you click on a particular button or a particular image, it may show a zooming effect or it may show something action. Opening a dialog box, just what we have done. The same way that is executing something program and loading the data into the HTML format itself is called, we can say, document object model. And the advantages, the disadvantages, or the limitations, we can say the features. We can say it is an open source, it is an interpreted, it is an, you can say, case sensitive, meaning whatever the code that we are writing, that can be easily used in any other place. That is, we can just simply copy and paste that particular code and can be done the another functionality in any other application. Exactly, we can say free to use. What is concept of interpreted? So far, we have written 4 lines of code, and each line that will be executed through a JavaScript parser. And when a particular line is having an error, it will stop its execution and give information that we have to resolve it. That is what you can say line by line checking is called, we can say, interpreted. Whereas case sensitive means the difference between the lower case and the uppercase. We read A, both are A only. Especially we don't read small a and small a, capital A, until unless explicitly we want to read. Otherwise, we just read A right now. But here we have a difference of lowercase and uppercase. Not only a group of characters. Okay. And as JavaScript is a client side means nothing but a browser side. Client is nothing but browser. Why? Because of I am the client. I am opening a website, Google. Okay, and I am the client. I am opening and to see something hotels, something. and I'm getting in my browser itself. So behind what it is happening, I don't want. I just getting something what I'm searching. So taking a request from the client side and getting the response to the client side. Behind that, we have a server connectivity and everything that is later issue. At this moment, not required. We are able to see something, a content with headings, subheadings, and bolds and links, everything in the format where user can see properly and get something information. Okay. And if you see here, this kind of an action can also be done using the programming. Okay, then so now what I say is when user is doing some program, sorry, when user is doing some action, that functional part that is executing at client side, every browser will be having inspect element and console tab. Here it is executing that functionality. If everything is success, it will throw an output here in the active window. If any error, it will show here in the error box, console box. So, but finally, if you observe, we are doing some action and it is executing in the client side itself. It is nothing but the console part, console tab itself. We can say browser. Every browser will be having console tab. Then that is why we say it's called client side. And as we say it is an open source, you have written a program, for example. Then okay, let me open, for example, anything. And we can see the source code of HTML, CSS, and even of course, as we don't have any programming of JavaScript, we are unable to see here. But when you click on any file, a link, that coding, what they have done, we are able to see. So we can make it something security, but that is not major here part. We simply say the data or the content, the functionality, what we have done in coding in JavaScript, that will be displaying in the source code that even anyone can easily copy and paste it. Simply what I say means one is advantage. If I don't know how to write a program in JavaScript and somebody have written some program adding up two numbers, I can just copy and complete my solution. But in the same way, there is another disadvantage. Without notifying, we are able to see and copy. So in that case, there is no security. That is what I want to say. As we are saying, it's free to use. A JavaScript programming language don't have a security, and that is why we are unable to work with the concept of unable to work with any authentication applications like maintaining a data of a customers or maintaining the data of a products and transactions or any data that should be secure. So we can't maintain such kind of a data because of everything that will display the logics here. That's the reason we are unable to make it connectivity directly to the database. Because of no security, we are unable to directly connect to database. So these are all the points of something what we can say about JavaScript. You even try, find out that more points. What is JavaScript? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What are the pros? What are the cons? Cons. Like this. You will get n number of examples, n number of websites. Just copy and make it notes. That's it. Now we come to the point. Irrespective of the programming language, maybe JavaScript or further jQuery or anything, maybe .NET or PHP or Java or whatever it might be. Finally, the first point is displaying an output. So, how to write? Let us write here. I'm writing as we are working with the concept of JavaScript. That doesn't mean we should not use HTMLs, we should not use CSS or Bootstrap. It doesn't mean like this. with all the concepts of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Finally, we work with functional part and get an output in a proper way. So I'm just writing JavaScript overview with its HTML file itself, starting with the same like HTML, doc type, HTML, and then write a lang en head. Hope you have already got these points and practiced well. And then I'm writing here title JavaScript. If anyone having doubts, I mean, and just in number of times I'm saying, if anyone having doubts, you can ask me anytime because it's your sessions only, na. So you can ask me any number of times. I will explain, but don't be hesitated. You know, open source client side something title I want scripting language. Then let us write some meta elements also, which is an inline element and name equals to title, content equals to, you can just copy and paste. It's not mandatory, but I'm just writing some sample meta elements. And then name equals to, okay, let us write charset utf -8 and then meta name equals to keywords meta name equals to description. For timing, let it be like this, these points, and then open body. Let us create even a external style sheet also. If we require, we can use. So make it something style.css. And now if you want to create an external JavaScript, okay, in how many ways that style sheet can be used in HTML, inline, embedded, and external right now. So the same here we can say embedded and external of JavaScripts can be used into HTML. So if you want external JavaScript, you can write any file name, but that extension that should be JS. You can write any file name, maybe script or whatever it may be. And then now right here, first let us write style type equals to, when you are writing here style type equals text by CSS. The meaning of this one is you are embedding. Then when you are writing with link href, make it that file name and give a call to that file name where type equals to text by CSS and rel style sheet. Okay. After loading that styles, then we can write script. You can place a script in the head elements or else even in the body elements. But as discussed already about this point in Bootstrap itself, placing, okay, if you want to place something in the heading itself, in the head part itself, okay, accepted. But if you want to make it body, the scripting that should be written, that should be loaded in the body elements. Then when you have to load after completion of all the HTML contents, then you have to load. That's why Bootstrap also we have placed at the end of the body, that is before closing point. Okay, so let us write now. Script src. So what is the file name? Script.js, where type equals to text by JavaScript. Okay, then this is an external, the same with embedding, but type equals to text by JavaScript. The same you can also write in the body, embedding or else. But as of now, for you to get an idea, I'm just saying, yeah, it's not mandatory for each and every time that we can write JavaScript code in the body. But when it is preferable, if you think, okay, you will be having, for example, 10 functionalities, maybe adding or sending, creating a validation, or creating a banner functionality, like this different functionalities, let us assume. The first few things, you have to choose what are the functionalities that are important, what are the functionalities that can be make it as a second priority. So when you want to make it a second priority, think functionalities, you can write at the end in the body, at the end of the body. But if you want to give something priority for the some of the functionalities, you just write in the very beginning of heading itself. Because after crossing, when it entering into the heading part itself, it will just execute that keep ready that output what we are expected in the designing. Simply, I can say if you have something functionalities to make it priority basis, just write that functionality in the head, either external or is embedded. If you want to give something next priority that is not much important, then that functionalities instead of placing all the things in the top, make it at last. Then this is how, and now an overview I'm saying. Now how to display. Let me write here. Display and output. When it comes to the point of displaying, you even have to get an idea about data, or we can say data type. So what is a data type? Why we are discussing about this concept of here data type? Because let us assume you might have gone through a number of websites, and every website at least may have contact us form or something else, login or registration. There you will be asked to enter your name, for example, let us assume age, then email, then something yes or no questions, that is accept or accept to our conditions or not, something like this. So what do you say here? You will be writing a group of characters in the upper and lowercase combination name. Right now, you don't write numbers or you don't write any special symbols in the name. Right. It is just a basic criteria we have to follow. Whereas coming to the point of age, are you going to write something in the format of characters? No. You'll be just entering something number 23 or 43 or whatever it may be. Finally, something in number format. Whereas email, combination of a group of characters at the rate of symbol, again group of characters and dot, and here you even can have some numbers also. I mean, some of the emails even can have a dot and the numbers also. So what I say is finally, when you are working with data, and data that can be categorized into different formats, what are those? Number format, string format, boolean format. These three things are called primitive data types because of everywhere we use to work with these only. Numbers which is in the range of 0 to 9. If you are typing something 74, don't say as 74 is not in the 0 to 9, it is crossed. It's not like that. 7 is in the gap of, sorry, in the range of 0 to 9. 4 is in the range of 0 to 9. That you have to observe. Whereas string, when we say it is a string, lowercase of an alphabets, uppercase of an alphabets, is it audible to you? Okay, because showing here. Lowercase of an alphabets, uppercase of an alphabets, and 0 to 9, that is digits, and any special symbol also. That is every special symbol or any special symbol. You can say. But one thing, all these characters, when it will be considered as a, what you can say, string, when any character or all the characters, if you enclose either in single quotes or else if you enclosed either in double quotes, then we can say it is called a string data type. Then coming to the point of boolean, either it is true or else we can say false. That's it. Now let us work the display. To know what are the different data and its data types, that's the reason we have discussed here. And now we come to the point of displaying an output. And let me open here. Close. Okay, how to display how to display a data or a value in JavaScript. You can write whatever the code that you are enclosed in between a script element is considered JavaScript. but the code which is out of that script is not considered as a JavaScript. It is just a plain text or HTML or CSS or some other thing. So when you want to write something, a character, sorry, when you want to write something, a code in JavaScript, that 100 percentage that should be enclosed in between the script element of opening and closing. And now observe, to display something in JavaScript, you need to write document. Document is referring to all the HTML elements dot write is a built-in function, meaning, so like see, like h1, h2, paragraph, img, all these are predefined elements now. That is, HTML developers have created that elements and we are using and displaying. Whereas coming to the point of CSS, color property, background property, and so on, all the all are already created by CSS developers and we are using. The coming to the point of Bootstrap, area hyphen, and any number of classes we have discussed. So, technology wise, according to the technology wise, the developers of that particular technology have created some concepts which are kept ready for us and we are implementing. So, to display something data in JavaScript, a document referring to all the HTML elements are ready to write that matter or a data or a value in the output. What are the things that you can say? For timing, I'm just writing this one. Meaning, you want to display this 35 in the output, that is in the web page. So, that is displaying. Then, in terminology, we can say it is an object, it is a method. But as of now, we don't have an idea about what is an object, what is a method, and what it is doing, all these things. So that's the reason I am saying a simple statement. Write a document dot write opening closing parentheses and whatever that matter that you want to display in the output to the web page. Then second statement, you can write what is a statement. A statement something with combination of characters at the end. If we have written semicolon, it is called, we can say, a statement is completed. And the semicolon is called delimiter, which is an optional in JavaScript. That means if you even did not write a semicolon, then that also no problem. But writing semicolon at the end, you are saying that we have completed that particular line totally. That is what I mean. It is for giving information to the JavaScript parser. JavaScript parser means execution. Okay. So right now document dot write a decimal point, then see that output 35. Beside that immediately 65.6. Okay. First of all, whatever we are writing in the write function, that is just displaying as a plain text in the output. Okay, first point we have done with a integer, second we have done with a decimal point, and third you even can also write a negative number right now. So write a negative number with a decimal point combination, and now come to the point of a group of characters. Point of group of characters, what you have to do, you have to enclose either in single quotes or double quotes and seeing that whatever that you want to display. Something I want to display a group of characters that can be of an uppercase and lowercase combination Even a space is also a character and something, a special symbols and everything. So let me do one thing. Of course, I am just writing here. It's not exactly JavaScript one version, two version something. For our understanding purpose, a group of characters are uppercase, lowercase, even a space, a numbers, and a special symbols. With the combination of all these things, we can say a string. Of course, at least one is finally, if it is enclosed in double quotations or single quotations, then we say it is called string. That's it. Okay, so for whatever we have displayed, it is just displaying a plain text format in side by side. Let me display finally a boolean value also. Document.write just can write true or false. Right now? Okay. Now from the plain text output, we want to make it something a HTML output. So simply remember a point. So far, whatever you have written H1, H2, or IMG, or anything, that all HTML elements can be included, sorry, that can be written in the document.write, but saying that it is also a string format, meaning all the HTML elements, how it will be. For example, let us write here, write H1 opening and closing, saying that something. First, let us see this output. Nothing else display. Why? Something went wrong. In JavaScript, as we have discussed, a line by line checking, so and interpreted. So when we are writing something code, and if something went wrong, first we have to see in the console tab. Click on console. Here you are getting the syntax error, something got greater than symbol, sorry, less than symbol. Actually, as it is a programming language, a special, sorry, for each and everything, there will be something, a definition they have written. A special symbol here is comparing a less than symbol right now, but you are not comparing, you are just trying to print. So that's the reason whenever or whatever that you want to display a HTML content in what you can say JavaScript code, then that HTML content also should be enclosed either in double quotations or else single quotations. By writing now here in double quotations, then display, right? So script, same way. Okay, let me write some matter. Let me write, for example, this as a paragraph. Document.write paragraph opening. It is a single line statement only. Okay, you have just opened and closed double quotations, or else you can go with single quotations and display. Okay, now if you want to write multi-line statements, the output, I mean, we want to display in a UL list of items. So how normally you will be writing? Okay, open that document dot write and in double quotations, as we want to display something in the list of items format. That is why I am writing here where I can place, let it be maybe OL or UL, whatever it meant. Writing a multi-line code. So we are displaying a list of items and but nothing else displaying. So saying that string literal contains an unescaped line break. Simply we can say if it is a single line statement, you can go with the single quotes or double quotes. But if it is a multi-line statement, you want to print, you want to maintain in the editor also, then you have to go with the backticks, which is in the very beginning before the number one key in the keyboard. Backticks. By writing this one, now you are displaying same what we have done. So this is how you can make it a list of, and I mean not only list of items, a multi-line statements displaying. So clear up to this point. Then the next point is commenting. What is a comment? You are writing something program. Directly instead of writing that program, if you want to give a statement for what purpose you are writing, that is what you have to share information to another programmer what you have written a lines. Okay, let me tell you. Of course, I'm just saying the scenario. Let me tell you first. Let me write here comment dot html. Everything whatever we have written here, and actually what is the concept we have done here? Displaying an output right now. So I want to write saying that I don't want to see that output, but I want to say to the programmer, we are displaying the output. Let it be this statement. For example, if you have written in document dot write then see that output what we have done. We are displaying the output, but we don't, presently it is displaying. We don't want to show to the public. I mean, we don't want to show in the web page. When a programmer who opens have to see that statement, but that should not be displayed to the users or visitors. So how we can do? We have to skip that statement from the execution. So to skip that particular statement or group of statements from the execution, we have same like CSS. I mean commenting. How to work with CSS commenting? If it is single line statement, 2 forward slashes. See now, that is not displaying. But a programmer who enters to see your program, you are doing something work you are saying. Yes, can understand what we have done. If it is a single line statement, we are writing with two forward slashes. But if it is a multi-line statement, then how? For example, I don't want to display all these 4 or 5 statements. Up to this point I don't want. But should not delete. Maybe expected something somewhere else further. I mean, as we have discussed the same HTML, once we delete, for example, a statement or statements, further after some time or somewhere else, if we require, then how? Again, we need to code. Again, we need to write a code if we have deleted. So, thinking that it may be used further, that's the reason. At the same time, presently we don't require. So, that's the reason we are making that it into a multi-line comment by writing slash star at the starting and star slash at the ending. Okay, so right now displaying that statement or group of statements, what we have expected exactly. So if you even open the source code, you can see all the lines of code what we have written, right? That is called now. So we got a clarity how to work with the single line comment and multi-line comment slash star, write a number of statements at the end star slash. Now, okay, if you observe here, this is a paragraph. How many times of a particular word of JavaScript is written here? 2 times. Let us assume if there is a particular word or particular statement, particular value that has to be repeated for multiple number of times, then you say you make copy and paste. Yes, you make copy and paste. For timing, if you copy and pasted, let us think as client is asking us to maintain the same statement for a number of times. That's why we have copied and pasted. Okay, successful. But after some time, or whenever the client is asking to update in place of JavaScript to something else, or in place of browser to something else, or in place of click and hover to something else, like this, then what you will do for each and every time as you have manually copied and pasted. So you need to manually in all the places edit. I mean, you have to edit in, in all the places manually right now. What I'm saying is when you have copied a hard code and pasted, and whenever it is required to update, whenever it is required to what you can say delete, sorry, manipulate. So you need to manipulate, you need to manually work in all the places. Why we are discussing this concept is to discuss the concept of a variable. What is a variable? As we are facing here, for a number of times, the client is asking to change maybe from JavaScript to something else, maybe from DOM to something, maybe something from browser to something. Like this, we are writing and editing in all the places, getting something time waste. To make it something a common value at one place and refer in all the places, we require a variable. Let me write. Let us discuss 1 or 2 concepts for today additionally, then we'll move ahead. Let me create the concept. Now what we are discussing here is variable. What is a variable? A variable is a name which used to hold a value and that can be refer or access whenever it is required. So let me write here variable or variable something else. As we know how to write a comment, I'm just writing a statement here a variable is a name, or we can say identifier also. A variable is a name which use it to hold the value or values which use it to hold the value or values that can be accessed let me write it. Can be accessed wherever or whenever we require. Wherever or whenever we require. So how to work? The syntax of this is you need to write a word which is called keyword. What is a keyword? A keyword is nothing but a predefined word. Like we are saying, document is already predefined, variety is already predefined, something statements or something, n number of things are predefined. In the same way, this JavaScript having some predefined words. By writing just that word, it will set a meaning for the functionality what we are writing. It will just set a meaning for the code what we are writing. So we are creating a variable. That's why we are writing a var and something variable name. You can write anything here that equals to its value. Semicolon. That is common thing. So a value that should be right hand side that should be assigned to the variable which is declared which is declared with the keyword of var. Okay, how it will be? Var something. Let me write name or else okay. Let me write full name. That is you are going to save name of a person or employee or customer or product name, whatever it may be. Finally, saying that it is a full name and that is considering as a variable because of it has to hold a value and that can be accessed wherever or whenever it is required. So var space that full name equals to as we want to save a name that should be a group of characters right now. That's the reason we are writing a double quotations or single quotations. Let me write any value semicolon. As soon as you have written like this and press Ctrl S or save it, what will happen? The John Paul is a value will be saved in the memory location and that can be referred with a name called full name. Okay, so that's why. And now, okay, you are saying that you have saved, but how can you say it is saved? We have to see an output. One second, hold on. Now we know how to display the data right now. I mean value. First, let us write here document dot write in the double quotations saying that full name colon semicolon. For timing, it will be like this. Now see that output. Or you say, I'm sorry, will you say the output of full name John Paul will be displayed here? Let us see. Hmm. Remember one point, whatever the characters that you have enclosed in double quotations or single quotations, the same it will be reflected in the output, first point. Okay, but how to see that value of which you have saved? Value of full name which you have saved. Let me write here itself. So now do you say full name colon John Paul? See, full name only. Because we are saying now, what we are saying, whatever the characters that you have given here in the double quotations or single quotations, as it is, it will display. It won't refer to any its value, but how it has to refer its value. In that case, you need to come out of the double quotations, or else you need to come out of that single quotations first point, and then write that variable. Now the JavaScript will try to understand, okay, as you have given something output, sorry, as you have given something a full name which is referred outside the double quotations, it will search for the value where you have saved. That is, you have defined or you have declared something for this. What is that? It will fetch. Okay, see that output now. Nothing else displaying. Why? Open that inspect element and click on control tab, saying that it is something missing. Missing after the argument list. So when you are displaying a static content, that is called what we have written in the double quotations, and along with the variable, which is a variable that will be having dynamic now. Dynamic means for each and every time it will be changing. We can change. When you want to display two different things at one line, at one statement, you just can write with a plus, which is called concatenation symbol. A plus is called a concatenation symbol, which display the left hand side part in the same line will display the right hand side part by referring what is that value you have given here. So now we got a clarity. So overall concept is 2 points. A value, whatever it may be, maybe a string or integer or boolean or whatever, that is assigning to the variable. Okay. So whatever we are saying that a value that is assigning to the variable, and you are referring its output with a statement saying that full name. What is that name? Clear up to this point? Let us do one thing. As we want something output one by one with a line breaks. It is also HTML element, that's why we have written in the double quotations. After displaying full name, it is displaying immediately side, but we want to break. So that's why we are again concatenating to the variable output with a break element. So overall, you have to get an idea If it is a continuous string, nothing else to write a concatenation symbol. But if you want to refer value of a particular, then you have to come out of the double quotations and have to use the concatenation symbol. So then you can see like this. Okay. So work up to this point, what we have discussed, and then we'll discuss the rest of the points in tomorrow's session. Okay. So, okay, to all of you, clear to all of you, could you please just let me know?
Yes.
Right then. So we'll discuss rest of the points in tomorrow's session. So then, thank you and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.